Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel where I help you build an impactful online business. In today's video, we are actually doing a free Etsy critique. This is one of the many free critiques I do every single month. So you might be an actual winner today. So make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end to see if you are the lucky winner. Now, if this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, consider subscribing today. I do upload weekly videos to help you build an impactful Etsy business. And don't forget to grab this free Etsy SEO guide that will help you get started the right way by optimizing your store and listings for SEO. You will find the link right below the video. So let's head over to my computer to see who is today's lucky Etsy critique winner. All right, so today's lucky winner is Design Studio 815. And the shop owner is Tammy Thompson. So congratulations. Guys, I'm trying to create a sense of community where we all come together, we help each other out. So please like this video and leave any comments below with any tips and tricks that you have for Tammy. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I normally do on a critique is that I choose a particular listing. I talk about your photos, I talk about your title, I talk about your listing description, the curation of your store, and branding. And I kind of break it down in sections so it's easy for you to kind of follow along. And everything that I'm about to touch base on today could be applied for any type of niche. So regardless if you are selling maybe jewelry or maybe you sell t-shirts or something else different from Tammy, everything that I talk about, you can actually apply towards your very own store. So you want to make sure that you stick around and watch this video all the way to the end. Now, the listing that I'm doing an audit today on is this one here. So the first thing I want to talk about is product photography. And I think it looks pretty good. It's really pretty. I like the fact that you have at least 5 photos. So that's great that you have, additional photos. You're illustrating, I guess, other ones that you have in your store. What I would do with something like this and this, just be careful that you don't get the person confused on what exactly they're looking at. What I would do is I would say, view our other products or view our similar products. Like put some type of disclaimer because people will get confused. And some might even think, oh, when I buy this file, I get all of these included, especially because this is a digital download. So you want to make sure that you put a disclaimer in there somewhere. But great job for having additional photos in your actual Etsy mockups. What I would do as well is have additional photos in the sense of what they get included. You could say, hey, this is an instant download. Because one of the biggest issues that I go through and many people go through when you sell digital products is that people don't read the disclaimer that, you could have it in the title, you could have it in your listing description. And some people do miss it for some reason. They don't read it. And you want to be as transparent as possible to let everyone know, by the way, you're buying, right, a digital product. That way, there's no confusion from the buyer's end, and they'll either buy from you or not buy from you based on, whether they want a digital product or not. So I would add a disclaimer, like a photo saying that. In addition to that, I will add a photo asking people, hey, don't forget to favorite this listing, and having an arrow pointing to the heart. And the reason why you want to start actively asking people to favorite your listing is because any single time that you upload a new listing in your store, you have a sale, maybe you reduce the price on this listing, every single person that ever favorite this listing or maybe even favorite your store are going to get free notification. And that's free remarketing. And the people that do favorite is because they actually do like your product. So the fact that if you run a special, all these people will get a free notification, and that's free advertising for you. There's nothing else that you need to do because Etsy automatically sends that notification. So I highly recommend having a picture telling people, hey, don't forget to either favorite this listing or favorite our store so you can stay updated with the latest, trends and new products that we add. In addition to that, your email list, email is really important. As a business owner, it doesn't matter where you sell or what you sell, but making sure that you're asking people to join your email list. You could provide a lead magnet, something of value. You could just simply say, get 10% off on your first order. Please sign up here. or you could just simply ask people, don't forget to join our email list. But making sure that you're proactively asking people to join your email list. You could do that on your Etsy photo. You could do it on your About Me section of your store. And you should be doing it outside of Etsy, like in your social media, anywhere and everywhere you promote your products and services. And it is allowed to ask people to join your list. What's not allowed, which is against the terms of condition or terms of usage, is that you add people manually to your email list. You're not supposed to do that. However, if somebody signs up for your email list, that's fine with Etsy. Etsy also does work with two companies that they're third-party apps with them, or they work as a third-party company with them. You could find these under your integrations on dashboard. If you're interested, I will also leave, Tammy, the link to my referral company, which I absolutely love. They're amazing at helping you get started. They do live demos. Customer service is just superb. So I will leave the link right below this video for you to be able to go ahead and watch as well, or be able to find out more information as well. So those would be my suggestions for your photo. So let's go ahead and look at your title, and then we'll jump into your listing description. So I think you did pretty good with your title. It doesn't seem to me, in my opinion, that you did keyword stuffing. The reason why is because with keyword stuffing, I understand why we do it. We do it mostly because we're trying to rank for keywords. However, the reason why Etsy doesn't want us to do it anymore, I'm at the middle of changing all of my listings as well, is because it does confuse the buyer. So when you have a whole bunch of keywords in your title and the person is reading that, and there's different variations of keywords, they might get confused on what exactly they're getting. So you want to make sure that you use as many keywords as possible, but you also want to make sure that it makes sense, and possibly try to add them within a sentence. That way there's a flow to it. So I think you did a good job. I mean, you only have nursery printable, dinosaur nursery prints, and then you have dinosaur printable, which I'm assuming is another keyword, which with look adorable in your little one. So I will fix that. The dinosaur printable will look, so fix that, adorable in your little one's room. So I don't think you did too bad of a job, to be quite honest. And you have 3 tags in there, which is pretty good. And you want to make sure that whatever keyword you put in the beginning of your title, that holds the most weight for SEO. So that is going to be like your focus keyword. That's the keyword that you're telling Etsy, hey, I want to rank for this keyword, nursery printable. That's a keyword that's also going to be the main keyword in your title page. It becomes the name of your title. So you want to make sure that that keyword, when you put it in your title, you also put it in the first 155 characters of your meta description. And then you also want to make sure that it's included in your tags. So right now, for SEO purposes, I don't see that you optimize it for SEO, because you have it here in nursery printable. You don't have it in the first 155 characters. And let me see if you have it as a tag. I'm using eRank, the pro version of it, so just in case, guys. And you do have it as a tag, so great job there. You just forgot to add it in your meta description, which is the snippet that is shown to anyone that finds you on Google if you were to rank for that keyword. So this is what people see on Google right now. It says nursery printable, dinosaur, nursery prints, the dinosaurs, and then it gets cut off. And then it says this dinosaur printable comes in multiple sizes. It is contemporary and so cute. Love what you see, but need it in a different size or color, no problem. And then it says just, and then it cuts off. So what you want to make sure that you do is that in your meta description, not only do you include your main keyword, your focus keyword, you want to make sure that you include a description of what you're selling, follow with some sort of call to action. So telling the customer, click to learn more, click to get yours today, click to shop now. That's going to increase your click-through rate, and hopefully the person will click, go back to your store, engage with your listings, and hopefully buy from you. So you definitely want to make sure that you do that on every single listing, and that it doesn't get cut off, and you include everything you need to include. So 155 characters is not that much area to add text, so you have to be very mindful of when you're adding your text in there. In addition to that, I do think that your listing description is a little bit short. You want to make sure that you take the time to craft a really great listing description. A listing description will explain how to order, what they're getting, refunds and returns. You want to make sure that you include anything and everything the customers should know about your product. I will add at the bottom your name, and in addition to that, I will add a link to your homepage, because you don't want them to click on your listing, read this, and then go like this and look at your competitor now. You want them to, when they finish here, it'll say click here to go homepage. They click, and now they're inside your store shopping. You want to keep them in the store. That's one of the disadvantages of selling on Etsy, right? When you sell on Etsy, your competitors are everywhere. When they look at your picture in the feed, you have a competitor next to you, on the other side, on top of you. When they're looking here, your competitors are down here. So you want to make sure that you keep your customer engaged with your store, and having that link is going to really help you do that. And always keep this in mind. SEO is how they found your listing. Your photo, it's what makes the buyer want to click to learn more about your product. And then your listing description is what sells it. It's what makes them feel, it does the job for you. It closes out the sale. It makes them feel like, okay, cool, I got everything I need to know, and they'll go ahead and buy from you. So I would definitely work on this because at the current moment, it does need a little bit more information. So make sure that you work on that as well. And then you have here, for more dinosaur prints, go to this one. That's great that you have a link to more dinosaurs, but it doesn't really go to a page where it has just the dinosaurs. It has all of your listings. So I will fix that. You could have, if you have a section here in your name section and you put all your dinosaurs, I will grab that URL and I will put it there, because someone else might get confused when they click there and they see all of your listings. So I would definitely fix that as well. So make sure that you take your time and you fill out everything of your store. All of these things do help you make sales. And you could have great SEO and a great photo, but if your listing description is lacking information, it might, not get you the sale. Or you could have a great listing description, but your SEO is not that great. Your photos are not that great, so you're not getting anybody, or you're not driving anyone back to your store. So everything works together. So just keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and look at your tags to get a better idea of what's going on. So here's the tags that you currently have. I think that overall you did a good job with really thinking about what you're selling, which is a dinosaur art print. So I think you did an overall pretty good job. I don't necessarily see here anything that's too broad besides playroom pictures, play area decor, but even that I could kind of see why you picked that. But this one probably, even this one is pretty good actually. It's just a little bit broad because it's not, really talking about dinosaur, and playroom pictures could be so many different things. So you want to make sure that the tags that you're using are what people that are searching for dinosaurs will use. So that's the reason why I'm saying that. But I think you did a good job. The only issue with these keywords is that they don't have any traction here. You see how this is like the only one that has an average monthly search of 459? This one actually is really good. I would use this one as your focus keyword because the competition is less than 30,000. The average click-through rate is pretty high, 61%, which is really great. Average clicks is 281 and your monthly search volume is 459. I always recommend 500 or more. This one is actually pretty good. So I would use this one as your main focus keyword that you will also use as your meta description. But all of these here, I would do research again. The reason why is because the data doesn't show that people are actually searching for these keywords. Now, keep in mind that because of the pandemic and people are shopping differently right now, that doesn't mean that it can't change in, let's say, 2 months from now. When holiday, like December, January, when people are heavily shopping online. But what I would recommend is making sure that if you have eRank Pro or whatever tool that you use, if you do use eRank Pro, go in a keyword tool and doing research, like type in one of these keywords and then do research to see what comes up, because with keyword tool, it will give you an additional 100 keywords that people are using for this particular tag. And that's going to give you more tags, especially if you're stuck and you feel like I can't think of anything at the current moment. And you could do a little bit more research. And if you find tags that have more of a search volume with 30,000 or less, then use those keywords. But if you feel like you did a lot of research and you still like striking out, you can't find these unique phrases or long tail keywords that accurately describe what you sell, then you could stick with these. But what I would recommend is that every 30 days, start checking your SEO. It doesn't mean that you have to change it again in 30 days. It just means keeping an eye out to see, okay, have this changed? Is it improving? Has it gotten worse? Do you see new keywords that you could potentially use? So what this means right now is that there's barely anyone searching for these tags at the current moment. It doesn't mean that it won't change in the future. I know for me, I'm in the wedding. All my stores are like wedding or event parties, and it has drastically decreased from the year before. So I do understand that it can be a little bit hard. And at this given moment, you will have to make an educated guess and say, okay, I did all my diligence. I did all my keyword research. I can't find nothing better. I'm going to keep these for now and do research again in 30 days. If you want to wait 60 days, that's fine. The reason why I said 30 days, because things might fluctuate from here to November because of holiday shopping. So that's the reason why. Normally, I don't suggest changing your tags as often. I'm only saying that now because the holiday season is just around the corner. You don't want to change it in January. You want to change it before that so you could get some traffic. So that's the reason why. Once you do that and you have, let's say you do get new keywords, then, you will put that main keyword here in your meta description. And then the additional keywords, you want to add them to your listing description because you want to optimize your store correctly for SEO. And then you will use them also in your tag. And that's how you optimize your entire listing for SEO the proper way. Let me see your category. So you picked digital print, so that's great. That's perfect there. And let's go back to your store. So another thing that I'm seeing is that your store is a little bit unfinished. You don't have a logo. You don't have your picture up. Great job on your banner. You don't have your about me story. You don't have your shop policies updated. It looks very incomplete. So keep that in mind, that I would recommend before you do any changes in your store, I recommend changing these things first. Somebody might happen to find your listing, and because this is not filled out and this is not filled out and your listings look like they're very short and limited in the details of what you're selling, somebody might not buy because of that. It might turn them off and say, okay, I don't know what's wrong with the store. So you want to make sure that you do this before you fix anything else. It's really important, especially because when people buy from Etsy, it's a little bit different than when they buy from Amazon. On Etsy, people, do remember who they purchased from, versus on Amazon, you just say, I bought it from Amazon. You don't even remember the buyer's name. So you want to make sure that you fill this out and treat it as a real business, because it is a real business. Just because you only have one sale doesn't mean it can't change overnight. So you definitely want to treat it more as a business and fill all this out. And then what I will focus on is having branding 101. So Googling it, you could go to YouTube. There's tons of videos. You could learn more about it. There's tons of articles. And branding is basically when people shop at your store, will they remember you? And right now, your aesthetic is all over the place. You have yellow, pink up here. You have these beautiful pumpkin colors, which are great, actually. But, if I saw this listing here, and I saw this one here, and this one in the search feed, I would think it's from 3 different stores. So you don't want that. So I'm not saying your photos are ugly. They're not. You actually have beautiful photos. What I'm saying is that the aesthetic of them is not memorable. And you want to build a memorable brand. You want people to start, whenever they're searching for printables, if your store shows up in the search feed a lot, you want them to start remembering your store. And the way that you build a brand is by people knowing your brand. And one of those things are having a logo, having an aesthetic that matches all your photos, branding your photos if you have to as well, making sure that the fonts and the same design you use here is the same logo or the same banner you're using on Facebook, on your Facebook fan page, that you're using on your Twitter account, that you're using anywhere else that you promote your store. When you start doing that and having that cohesive look, having the same name all across the different platforms, it helps you build brand credibility. So just keep that in mind. It's something that I highly recommend doing right now before you start adding more listings, and then you got to go back and edit all the photos. It will take you longer. But if you start it right now, because you only have 17 photos, it will be a easier process for you to brand your whole entire store versus doing it later when you have 1,000 listings. So these are my recommendations for you, Tammy. I think in order, what I would do is making sure that you have a logo, your photo, your about me story, your shop update. Secondly, updating your SEO, updating your listing description, optimizing your listings for SEO. And then thirdly, optimizing your photos, making sure that the aesthetic, all your photos are cohesive with one another. So those are my suggestions for your critique. I want to thank you again for applying for the critique. And guys, don't forget, if you have any feedback for Tammy, leave them right below. Thank you everyone for watching.